What's going on, guys? Drama22 coming back, another video. Going to talk a little bit more about the Shanahan version 2. That's going to be up, available for you guys. If you guys want to check that out, you can. Just go download that from the download center, and it would be there. So, all I did was just add in a couple of plays. I didn't have goal line formation, so that's my fault. And I added in also some just filler plays to kind of fill out some formation. So let's get right into what we're going to talk about today, which is going to be really the play action game and talk a little bit about how we're going to use the initial parts of the play action game. So if we go back to my ready sheet that I have here that I gave you guys, there are different types of play actions. Now, I did not actually organize the ready sheet so that it would actually work in the order of how I'm going to install it today, but I'm going to talk about movement plays, which are plays that are going to be boots and keepers. Okay, so boots really are keepers, and then they're keeper slides where you're going to get a little bit of a different action in the backfield. And then from there, we have our play action plays where it's really vertical high low type of stress on the defense. And some of those plays actually do also do both vertical and also a little bit of horizontal. So we'll talk more about that. Let's just jump right into just showing you a little bit of what these plays look like. Okay, so if we look at this page here, this is just a bunch of their keepers from that season. And a keeper play is just a play where it's just faking a run one way, okay? And then you're going to get the first option coming across the field. It's usually going to be a tight end. It could be a wide receiver. And it's this over route, okay, that goes across the field at about 12 to 14 yards. That's going to be your first options. Pretty much all these plays are built to really have the same read to make it real nice and easy for you, okay? And then there's going to be some sort of deep option that's around 15 to 18 yards. In this case, it's a comeback. All right. And then there's going to be something in the low flat, okay, that usually is going to show up in front of you as to decide that you're booting. All right. So as you see, though, there's some little differences here when it comes to Madden, when it comes to real life football. You can see that these plays are based off of the play action called fake 18. So that's fake outside zone or mid zone, wide zone to the right. And then we're going to have keep left. Okay, so the word sift is in there just to tell the fullback that he's the guy that's going to be usually, again, in that play, he would be a sift block, which means he would block the backside edge. But in this case, he's going to go to the flat. All right. And there's some other examples here from some other plays. So this is from a variety of plays from their install from that year. You'll see it kind of come out of solo as well. We have this exact same play. So we're going to work the solo right, fake 19, keep right. All right. So our first option is the over route. Then we got the comeback, and then we're going to have this kind of down flat action here. All right. And we'll talk about it on the field because the reads being 1 to 2 to 3, a lot of times, sometimes you have to kind of look out for that um, down flat as your hot read. If somebody was coming off the edge or you got immediate pressure in your face, you need to throw it to your hot read. Okay. So that's the generic way of looking at it. The thing that Shanahan does, I think that probably a lot of people have picked up over the years, is the combination of changing who are the players running these routes. So it's not going to always be a tight end across the field. Like you see here, we have a wide receiver going across the field who's in a nasty split, and you're going to get different types of combinations. But a lot of times, this is kind of the read. And would you call it horizontal read or high low? Well, it kind of ends up becoming like a blood combination on the right hand sideline, right? If you look at it, but also really what it does is stress the defense horizontally. So when we go on the field, I'm going to talk about some situations and why would you want to run it, how would you want to run it, and think about it from a Madden standpoint, not just from a real life standpoint. Okay, so just looking at the play call sheet, I actually do have a lot of the keeper slides. I'm going to install that second, but I do want to let you know that it's there. But really, we just have two plays right now. We have box right nasty and my play call sheet keeper, and then we have P15 keeper, and then we have solo. Most of the time, it's going to be solo. Probably, it'd be best to actually be solo left 15 keeper as well. So we'll take a look at those two plays. These are the plays that I have on movement plays. You can use these in any situation. I think the situation that we use it the most, or I've seen most teams use it, and I say we, I'm talking about from me studying the 49ers, I feel like I'm part of the team. It's going to be on first down. I think that's the big play action down that you're going to see a majority of the play actions come out of. I think if I go back to Coach Scott, props to Coach Scott. He's the guy that on who has on he put out a guide on this a couple years ago and really kind of taught everybody how to do this in the video game world. So props to him. I'm relying on his knowledge and his expertise to really help me through this. But I think it's about 60% of the play action game is going to happen usually on first down, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a big chunk of when you play action. Usually it's on first down, and you're probably going to get that happening in the third quarter because you have set it up in the first half. You know what I mean? People are now reacting to run, run, run. They have no choice. Even if they know that you're going to boot, it's hard for them to think, okay, boot's coming. The other time I would really suggest it is actually if you play somebody a lot and they know your system, it's actually pretty good to do on first down because they're going to assume it's going to be run the first play of the game. I'm sorry, first down. I mean the first quarter. You might want to start the game off with a boot. I think I've seen the Niners do that a lot versus teams that are just going to assume it's going to be outside zone, okay, or mid or wide zone, right? All right, so let's just jump on the field. Let's take a look at it. I do believe we can run this in all parts of the field. I think this is actually a really good red zone play. I've gotten beat on it myself in the red zone. In real life, it's more of a in your own territory play. But I think in Madden, we can really make this a play that can show up at any down and distance in any part of the field. I'll see you on the Madden field. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through this. I'm actually going to put the defense in certain defenses because if I go random, you never know what the computer's going to do, and I'll waste your time. So, just want to say this: the play is off of inside zone action in the game. That's the reason why I have it called 15 keeper, not calling it 19 keeper. So this is the reason why I said in the last film, you need to really consider running inside zone just as much as you do outside zone. This scheme, even though outside zone will probably be your number one play, it will be also a balanced run game. Make your opponent have to choose if they want to play in the CFM world, if they want to play inside run defense or outside run defense. Okay, you're no because the defense reacts very quickly to either play if they call it. So the thing is, the inside run defense actually would be something that you want them to call because these plays will make the defenders play a little bit slower. Okay, so anyway, let's just look at this first play. We're going to go solo. Okay, we're actually going to, again, if you want to be very detailed with this, you're going to have to take your best tight end, put him on the left. So I'm taking Kittle, putting him on the left. I'm going to call solo left. We're going to call P15 keeper. And for now, I'm just going to call a cover one, right? This would kind of simulate a little bit of two things here. So if you get a user that's really going to play the run fast, he's not going to be able to come back and get involved in this window. And obviously, like I said, if you get man-to-man coverage, you should be able to win if you have a good matchup on this first easy read, okay? If it is a blitz and it's in your face and you can't get the ball out to number one, just be ready to throw it to number two or number three. Probably number three. I apologize, not number two. Number two is a little bit of a, if you have time type of play, like I did there. But number three is your last read. He's going to be that down flat in this situation. If anybody has any more advice with this play in general, let me know. But to me, this is just the base core play of just running the keeper play. If you want to run it out of this bunch formation that we have here, we can go box right nasty. That's how I'm going to do it. But right now for this film, I'm just going to come out and bunch right nasty, P15. I'm going to use the PA boot play right here, okay? And again, if you tried this play against something like cover three and you're going against the computer, you're going to get some different results. Most likely you're going to get the computer overplaying the play. So the over route's probably not going to be there, okay? You're going to end up probably throwing the ball to either the comeback or the deeper route or the check down, okay? Just so you know, in this play, because we're in bunch, obviously you can't get a comeback. So the number two read is going to be that corner route. But obviously I'm playing cover three. Don't have a lot of options here. I don't like throwing the over route late across the field. Now, if you're playing a game like NCAA or you're playing the reason why I'm calling out college football is because the field's a little bit wider. You have a little bit more time to throw that over route. You might be able to throw it late against a computer. They're playing a lot of cover three and it's wide open. You kind of wait for it to get open. And the pro game, it's a little bit different. You want to throw it a little bit early. I've seen people come out of this and just heave the ball right to number one right away. And then don't forget about, don't do that, by the way, unless you really know it's going to be there. But also here, don't forget that you could run. So that's the great thing about this offense, and this is the reason why you want to have a guy that has some wheels. He doesn't have to be crazy fast, but somebody like Brock Purdy, who has a little bit of agility, is pretty good. All right, so most of these West Coast offenses still live with that idea of being able to have a guy that can boot. All right, so that's a real simple, just two player. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Let's also go and look at the keeper slide play. So if you look at this, there's a lot of keeper slides here. I think that's one of the better plays that are in the game. It's really good because it really kind of sets up. People are really going to think it's a run. Once you come out and you run counter, you run inside zone split, those that sifting action that you get with the slide action going back with the fullback or the tight end really makes people think it's a run. I think they over pursue. But you can see here in my play call sheet, I have a bunch of these things set up. So we have it at a strong left. I think that's one thing I got to make sure that's correct. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do it like that. We'll come back to that one. But overall, we have box left nasty. We have a keeper. We also have a out of north right clamp. That's one of the formations that it's the pretty much one of the single back formations that could be either 12 or 11 personnel. We'll see that on the field. We have East, which is the wing set, and then we have West, which is our slot formation wing set as well. So this is a big play for us. Let's take a look at it on the real life pages and how they draw it up and look at the reads and see how it goes. Okay, so I think this one here, this one here on the right, we already have. This is one of our formations, north right clamp. Okay, so that's going to be 11 or 12 personnel, however you want to look at it. And it's going to be that keeper slide, keep slide. I guess it's not called keeper. It's just keep right, have slide. Okay, so I got to fix the lingo on that. I've been calling it keeper slide. So just so you know, there are some different lingos within the system. You have McVay and Matt LaFleur. They kind of changed some of the names. Even McDaniels did a good job of Mike McDaniels did a good job of changing up some of the stuff that's kind of old school Shanahan that maybe they think is a little bit easier. So you hear people say keeper slide, don't even stress it. Okay, it's just it is what it is. So what we're gonna have here now, look at the reads and look how it changes. Okay, because we have the keeper part of it, and that part is really gonna explode and get out there first. That is now your new number one read. Okay, that's why it's good to put a good athlete there. Then you're going to get the over route coming from wherever. It could be a wide receiver. You're going to get some sort of vertical component. Again, in this case, it's going to be that kind of C route or a corner route. And then now you still have your late flat. So the keeper part is just a nice little clue for you to say, hey, get the ball to the flat right now. Okay, don't mess around. Let him run with it. Doesn't matter if two might get open. If one is open, it's give it to him right now and then go through the rest of your progression. So let's take a look on the field. We got a lot of examples of this, and I think this is a really good play on third down, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite third and short plays, like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And then you can also use this in the red zone. Okay, so let's just go down the list. I'm not going to run all these plays, and right now I just want to show you the plays. We have strong left ace, keeper slide, P15 keeper slide, so you can see it here. This is based off that formation that we've been using. It's kind of one of our favorite formations to start a game with in Madden. You won't be able to get this in NCAA. And just so you know, guys, if you guys haven't been paying attention to my videos, I put out a video talking about Cohen, Liam Cohen, who is more of the McVay disciple. I am running this offense with him. I'm pretty much, for right now, pretty much running the same thing. I am running a little bit of the Kentucky plays, and you're going to get less two backs. It's going to be a little bit more uh, 11 or 12 personnel heavy. But in general, just want to let you know that this play here is here in Madden. It's a good play. Just be careful with that slide route. It doesn't really, it doesn't continue to run. It will just stop if you throw it late. So make sure if it's your first read, get the ball out to it right now so it can continue to run. Okay, we have box left nasty. Again, I'm going to treat it as bunch. So we have the same formation that we were looking at. I'm just going to go 11 personnel. I'm going to call this bunch. Okay, bunch left nasty. All right, and then we have the play in there with the slide, PA boot slide. So you can see that right there for you. This is a pretty good play. Probably best, whatever your personnel fits, but let's just take a look at it versus something like cover three. All right. So now the reads here, we don't really have a down flat, which is a little unfortunate. So this is one time you don't have that. You're going to have to just work with the slide is 1, the over is 2, and then the corner would be 3, and then you would think to probably run, or you might come back to that slide route as 4 again. Okay. So the one thing is, and this happens a decent amount sometimes in Madden, is you kind of get sometimes the edge pressure will get upfield on you, and you would find yourself kind of in a position where you cannot um, sit in the pocket, or you can't continue to roll out. So you can see how I kind of threw this on the fly because I wasn't sure if that rusher was coming clean. In real life, I know I've seen guys be able to step up underneath this and continue their rollout, but it's a little bit tough in the game. You're not sure because of your camera angles. You might want to widen out your camera angle on this play. But you can see here, 1 is open, 2 might even be open, right? And 3 is not open, but that's pretty much the easy read there, okay? Throwing it to your quarterback's arm strength is probably the best way to go. So when you are running your base offense, you want to make sure that you are trying to run the ball. If you're going to run outside zone or wide zone or anything, you might want to make sure that it looks the same. Okay, try to make everything look the same. All right. So the other one is like north, right, or left clamp. So in this game, that's going to be tech lie off, right? And in this case, we're going to go north, right, clamp. Okay. All right. And then we're going to go P14, sorry, P15. So I have that wrong on my sheet. I got to change that. That's P15 keeper slide. Okay. So let's take a look at that real quick. Again, this is one of my favorite plays, I think, more on third and short because you have a slot receiver that's there. So this would be north right clamp. Again, that route is pretty much going to be there for you unless somebody really is playing hard flats. Now, if somebody's playing hard flats in you, which a lot of people do because people know everybody loves drag routes in this game, that could open up some of your other routes underneath. I'm sorry, in the intermediate zone, and also potentially a comeback route if you want to get there. This route gives you the down flat as your 4th read, so it's there for you. If you want to try to squeeze this in, just be careful. You see what happens there, right? You see, if you try to, it's kind of like fool's gold a lot of times in that over route versus zone coverages, especially cover 3. The curl flat defender will do a good job and actually fall back into that window. Okay. So let's just take a look at the other ones. We're not going to run them right now, but there's some good plays that I have already set up for you guys right from the jump. We have the east formation. So in this case, this is just going to be east right. Okay, this would be P14. All right, keeper. So I got to go back on the north clamp one. That one I got to go back. Let me just change it in my sheet for right now while I'm talking to you guys. Sorry. And let's just go back, and east is good. And then we have west. West should be good as well. So pistol, that's going to be a pistol formation, is the only formation I have right now. And we have our PA boot left play. Okay. So that play right there is pistol, west, right, Zen. Okay. P14, keep, I'm just going to call it keeper slide. I think it's a lot easier, rolls off the tongue than saying keep right, slide, F slide. That would be really a lot of words, but that doesn't surprise you, right? With this offense. So that would be our play there. You can see how we have there. We don't have the down flat, but our 3rd read technically will be that corner route, right? I think personally you might want to look at that a little sooner because you might want to get rid of that ball a little earlier, but that's just me. All right, so that's pretty much it for the movement plays that I have set up right now. There are other ones in the game. That's just the 8 or 9 that I have set up. So the next part of this video, we'll be talking about the play action passes that are a little bit more of a true vertical stretch. Really what we're trying to do is get linebackers to suck up and try to throw the ball over the top of their head right now, okay? And that's all going to be really based off of inside zone plays, which is important for us to get set up. Okay, so the next group of plays are going to look a little bit like boot plays or movement plays, but a lot of times they get set up in the pocket. This is good when you don't have a quarterback that has a lot of mobility. It does not have a lot of mobility. It's good for you in general. So there's groups of plays here. Blazer and Rider are pretty much in the same category. It's pretty much what some people call the Yankee concept. We get the deep over route. We'll talk about that on the field. We have the drift play, which is kind of a quick hitting, intermediate, almost short throw right behind the linebackers' heads off of like some sort of inside zone fake. We have the read sift play. We'll talk about that quickly. That's just going to be, it's going to look like two deep routes. You're not sure which one's going to be the crosser. And then both routes is sit down at about 20, 25 yards. It will supposed to be reading out the coverage. We'll talk about that if it really happens or not. Dagger, it's traditional dagger. It's a slot formation pass play where you're going to get a deep dig behind a vertical route. And then we have locker blaze out, which kind of fits into the drift family a little bit. You have one route that's kind of acting like a drift route, and then you have one route that's breaking out. All right. So this is the beginning. Now, just so you know, when it comes back to the movement and even some of these play action plays, we can build off of this. There's a lot of plays actually in the book that have more levels to the plays, meaning like more wrinkles. So after we've done a boot play once or twice for 3 weeks, let's say, there's some nice little change ups that will get people really not sure what you're doing. All right, so let's just take a look at some of these plays on the actual little playbooks that we have. Okay, so we have an example here. This is Rider, okay, and then I have right next to it, I have Blazer. Don't get caught up in Rider or Blazer right now, guys. The word just has to do with the first read. Rider is more of like a straight vertical route, kind of even bends back outside a little bit. So take a look at the number one read. You see how he's going like straight up the field? All right. Compared to Blazer is a little bit more of a, I'm not mistaken, an inside breaking route. So it's almost like running a post. So you're seeing the game, there's kind of routes off of the deep route off of this where you see him kind of bend back in a little bit. So that's good versus certain coverages. But let's be honest. And, I know Coach Scott put this into his notes when he wrote this up. You're not going to hardly ever throw it to that guy unless there's a bust in coverage. All right. Really, you're going to go to your number two, to your number three. All right. And that's pretty much what it is. And this is a little bit different than what I was saying in the other video where you're looking for holes. You're looking to throw the ball between the numbers and the hash. But at the same time, um, that throw can be it really could be even wider. You know what I mean? And you kind of have to time it up, right? So the throw is going to take a little bit more time. It's going to develop a little bit later, and the depth of the route, hopefully, against a user could get there. Let's be honest. You've seen user linebackers run into the line of scrimmage and go back and cover this route. So it's not the best versus users, but I do think if I were you, I would start the game off with this and let people know that you have it, knowing you're probably just going to check it down to the flat. Okay, so let's just take a look at that play. Blazer and Ryder, or just the Yankee concept, what we have so far in the game. So I already showed you the two formations. I'm going to be looking at it again. I'm going to look at Blazer and the strong left formation. We're going to motion tight end over, and then we're going to go Ryder out of box, okay? So we kind of started the whole series off with this. This is kind of one of the first plays. I like to set this up with the motion. I'm going to go cover one because it's just going to give me a good look right now. A lot of people are playing cover one. I know it's not a number one coverage, but we're going to simulate that we're going up against a guy that maybe is playing cover three or cover four. And, he comes down hard with his middle linebacker and then allows you to kind of go over the top. Now, as you run this play, just be careful now. You will see sometimes that hold on one second. This play also doesn't give you a great check release. I like when the check down comes to the same side as maybe your over route. Okay. But just in general, I do think that sometimes just taking that number one read and making it righter and just having him go straight will hold off corners. That's all I was about to say. Check, be careful. If that route is a little bit too, let's go back to the original play, a little bit too short, it's a little bit, it may not grab that corner out of there versus zone. So you might want to take a look at maybe even changing the depth of the route or just changing the route and just making a vertical route. Turn this into, even though it's supposed to be Blazer, just turn it into Rider. And then another thing that you will see me do sometimes is actually take the fullback. If he doesn't have any real check down that's really there, that's good for me. I'll put him into a check flat to have that underneath route to the same side as the over route. So I know in NCAA or college football, they have some other versions of this. By the way, don't get caught with that. That happens a lot too. Make sure you throw the ball out. Put a lead on it. Okay. But again, if I'm working this play like I've been working it with the motion, okay, I'm just going to put the fullback out to give me that nice little check down. you know, you should be able to set this up. You could throw this with a little pass lead like I did there, and then give yourself a little bit of that was actually free form. You give yourself a chance on that. Now, if it's cover three, again, it depends if you're playing the computer. The computer, you could throw that route against the computer, especially in college football. And then if it's not a computer player, you just have to be careful. If it's not the computer, you have to be careful of users. Okay. So then we have box left nasty rider. Okay. So this one, I'm not going to go through all the plays. I don't want to make the video too long, but we have the same play here with the deep PA deep cross go. All right. That one's already set up for you. I love how the running back goes to the flat and gives you the check down. Okay. So now we also have the drift play. So and the good thing is the reason why I'm starting with this one is because you start with that, you get people to run over 15, 20 yards outside the numbers. Now we can start throwing the ball a little bit shorter, a little bit closer, and that's going to make life a little bit easier for us. So let's take a look at drift. Okay, so drift here is just really, it says it's very simple. Um, some people call it a bang, but it's really not a bang. It's a bang kind of ends up going like a bang eight's more like a skinny post, but really it's kind of like a short dig. And in real life, it's work 6 steps to 10 yards trying to find the hole. Okay, in the game you'll see it be a little bit deeper and a little bit wider, but it's going to give us an easy throw, and it's going to come off that good old P15 weak play. Okay, or P14 weak. So we want players to come running down here, and then we're just going to throw the ball behind their head. All right, so it's that simple. And the good thing about this play is that it also gives you a nice little um, easy check down to the same side, and you're good to go. All right, so I think this is one of my favorite plays in the game. It comes off of formations that I wish would be a little bit better, but I think we can still have some good success with it. Okay, real quick, we're going to work on the two drift plays that I have here. Um, I right or left. I'm going to work the P15 X drift. If we go I right, we're obviously going to fake the ball to the open side, throw that X route behind it. And then we also have close. Okay, close is going to give us the same thing. I got to double check that to be honest with you. And they have some other ones that are Z close. That is also a popular one where the Z runs that route. But let's take a look at it on the field. Okay, so we have I formation, pro. Okay, and then we have the PAX dig. So this one is a little bit deeper than it is in real life. I'm aware of that. But in general, we kind of get that same look. I'm going to go cover three here just to show you that, cover three will kind of play this route pretty well. What I suggest for you to do is to take the fullback and actually put him to the flat. Let me just show you how this play looks naturally. You see how the fullback kind of goes out to the right and then goes across the field? Not a big fan of that. So because of that, you might have to make this a play that you can have to have the ball on the right hash or the opposite hash of where you want to run. Put the formation to the boundary, take the fullback and put them on a flat, which is something you can do this year, thank goodness. And then we can just step back, we get the nice full flow read, and then go through your reads. Now, the I didn't talk about the outlet here. There is an outlet on this play, which would be your halfback down low as well. Okay. But this is a really good play versus a user, really bad play versus the computer. I'll be honest with you. If you're going to throw this versus the computer, you're probably going to be throwing that check down, which actually does get out to the flat and kind of out leverage a lot of coverages, but you're really kind of forcing the ball there. Okay. So just want to let you know this is a really good user play. Let's look at the I right close formation. You know what? That might actually be Z close. So I think I do have it in here. So I actually have that written down wrong. I will change that on my sheet. All you guys who follow, I appreciate. Actually, you know what? Close is Z close. My fault. Close is what they call. So when they say close in this language, that's what it is. All right. So this would be the same type of read. This one here, though, is a little bit different because the outlet is on the opposite side of where the Z is running his drift route. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. That one's a little bit different. So let me come back on that one to get back to you guys. Obviously, that might be something where you might want to run it the other way. Even though I know that they have the comeback on the opposite side, you might want to put the ball on this hash, get your fullback out to the right, I don't like how the halfback, how the fake is going to the left here. So I got to go back and take a look at this one. I might add this one in too quick. This may not be the best way to run this play because we're actually faking. We want to fake week 14, and we're not getting that action right now. So let me come back to that one. I apologize. All right, let's jump into real quick the dagger play, and then we'll come back to. Actually, you know what? Let's jump into locker blaze out. We'll do that one next. So you look at the sheet here, we have locker blaze out, which is right here at the bottom. It's kind of in the same family, to be honest with you, now that I look at it as a drift play. So I think that'd be a good thing to take a look at. Let's look at it on the 49ers playbook. This play is a really popular play. It's actually in a lot of my plays. I haven't really even put it into the system yet. It's really good with the snug formations. It gives you this same concept. The only thing is that the route is a little bit deeper naturally, but it kind of works in Madden. So we have locker, or we really it starts with the X blaze, which we can be changed. That word can be changed, but what you're getting here is the outside receiver as your first read running that outside route. Now, ironically, they actually put the what they call, I guess, locker here as an alert. So it's really not part of the read. So I kind of combined them together in my mind, and I was wrong. So now that I go back and look at it, we're really looking from 1 to 2, and we're just kind of alerting here. So I think when you pull out and you kind of come out of the play action, you're going to kind of see this play. You're going to say, oh, okay, is that guy wide open? Give it to him. If not, go through your reads. You're kind of looking at it as you're going through the play action to see if that guy's going to be open. If you have any doubt, just go through your reads. It's an outside hitting high low play on the sideline, really. So this is a good play versus a lot of zone coverages, soft zone. It just gets open for you. It's just a nice, easy read. And then off of this play, it's really off of a lot of split action for the most part. So that's also good if you want to run some more inside zone game, inside zone splits. Now you kind of have that action there. It's built for a lot of compression sets. So let's take a look at the one that I have right now. Okay, so the one that I have for you guys is out of box right nasty. Okay, so we already kind of have it there. There's also in some other formations in this playbook, you can find them, but that's the one we're going to work off of right now. Let's go to the Madden field. Okay, so nice little carryover, building out families of plays, and I have this one set up for you guys. So this one does have an extra, I guess there's two different versions of this bad boy. There's the deep out one. There's an extra route there for us, not really what we need. And we also have the PA post dig version of this. I'm going to go with just the traditional P out play action deep out. Go and look for this play in other formations. I have it for you guys. All right, so we do have somebody kind of running off on this play. Again, we're going to try to just get the essence of this play. We don't have the true check down, which I don't like. Okay, so that's the bad thing. I might not, could be a deal breaker for some people, but we'll take a look at it anyway. I just know that I think I put it on random defense. The outside route is really good in general. I knew I threw that late, but it's a good route. It's hard for people to get underneath it. I think I put it on random. If not, it's cover 3. But you can kind of trust this throw. You do have to be careful because there's no flat defense there. So if you guys have any answers to this, I'm not going to necessarily overdo this one right now. I wish it was I wish it was the halfback going out to the flat. I could do something like this, but this is not really the true essence of the play. You really want to have that good run action, but obviously don't force the ball like I'm doing right there. Keep the middle of the field, see if that's open. I'm going against cover 3 of the computer. Again, it's going to be hard for me to show you that play right there. But if you're going against any other defenses or a user defense in the middle, it's good. So I would say this. That's something that I've learned about this offense, and I'm talking to somebody about this too. Some of these players are really good versus users, and some of them are not good versus, and even people that don't play match. Like I feel like this offense is really good against people that don't play match defense. There's a lot of answers in the middle of the field. There's a lot of good routes in the middle of the field. And if somebody's not playing match and they're just playing just spot drop zone, or they're putting their guys into certain depths, you're going to get guys open. Against the computer, if they're playing match or they're playing actual deep to short on every single play, this play action part of the game is going to be constant checkdowns. You're not going to get the big explosives that you may want. All right. So look into that play. I didn't really sell it to you guys that great, but that's just one of the plays. Let's go back over to our book over here and take a look at the next one. We're just combine these two. We have the Sift read and we have dagger. Sift read is a different play than dagger, so let's just look at both of them on the actual um, playbook real quick. Okay, so we look at the read. It's I was saying Sift read. It was just talking about the Sift blocker. Read is really again on this page. It's actually showing just one read, and I do know from when I was coaching against this, it always usually was one guy. It's hard to get double reads. Usually the other guy was running through no matter what. But what we see right here is this vertical kind of stem gets really deep, gets to the point where every DB is going to turn and open their hips up, and then they're just going to sit down. The ball can be thrown almost before the receiver even turns around. What we're looking for when I run this play is looking for these inside hook defenders. Are they getting a lot of width? Are they a lot of depth? If they are, then I'm thinking of throwing the check down either to number two or the outlet over the ball. I just made a face right there. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I like this play because it really plays off of sometimes the stem goes inside, right? And users will start thinking, oh, here goes the over route. So they just start running that way. And this guy basically just sits down and opens up nice and easy. So it's a really nice play versus, again, a user. All right. So that's read. A lot of times it will be in the game, it's double read, it's X and Z read. But in real life, they might just have one read. Okay. So as we look at it on our play sheet, okay, I have this play set up right now out of I write chunk, which is just I write or I Y off with both guys close, with basically close nasty, if you want to call it that. Both of the receivers are compressed. Okay, so that's going to come out of that formation. It comes out of other formations in the game, other compression sets, one back, some 12 personnel stuff. So we'll be good to go. We'll look at it on the field. And then dagger, let's take a look at that play real quick. So dagger is traditional dagger. I would say this: a lot of teams that I've seen actually don't have the inside route as being an option. In this offense, it is. That's a little bit different. Usually, this guy running through is more of just an alert, okay? But it actually is the first read, which is interesting. So, inside guy, if you got it, I guess give it to him. We'll take a look at that in the field. Really, you're looking for that dagger, that deep dig route at about 20 yards, and then you have your underneath route that's there at about, he's going to be your third option. This is going to be really good against all the quarters teams out there. That people that if you don't know, quarters is a little bit buggy right now with the corner. He's going to let that go, and then you have to look at the flat defender, the quarter flat defender, see how he defends it. He's either going to run back and play the dig, or he's going to just do nothing. And you can throw either number two or number three wide open. So it's best built off of play action, in my opinion. It's a nice slot formation play. It's really keeps people honest. And the thing about this, if you make the dig a little deeper than even what it is in the game, it's going to be really hard for even a user to get back there and cover that deep dagger route. All right. So let's take a look at this on the field, and we will end the video after these two plays. All right, so we're going to go I right chunk, which is in the game right now, I formation, Y off close. And we're going to go the PA deep read. Again, because the computer plays this so well, I'm going to call cover one just to give you a little bit of a read on this. All right, so it's just a good old anticipation, deep curl route. It's a really nice play to have in your offense. Um, if you do get cover three or even maybe cover four, be careful. Sometimes the safeties will actually play this route pretty well in cover four. If we get three sky, let's just say it's three sky, we know the check downs are there for you. Get the ball out, get it to your check down. I personally prefer to have somebody over the ball. So I will take I will take the fullback and give him the triple option read, have him sit in the middle of the field. So I can have an option over the ball. He didn't really get there. He's kind of messing around. I want to have that option there in case the linebackers get a lot of depth. Okay. So that's the read play. You have two reads on this play. You can go to either side. Then we have the last one, dagger. Right now it's built out of the slot formation. So PAX dagger, okay? Again, against the computer, it's not going to be great. But let me just go against quarters. Let me see if somebody wants to play quarters versus it. That route right there is pretty deep, but you can actually make it deeper. Just route adjust it, make it a little bit deeper if you want. And naturally, this route I know I just do it into coverage. I apologize, but really that route does not get open with what you see on the left part of the screen. Let me just take a look at this again. All right. So the safety is there. This route, the safety got number two got bumped up, so that didn't help us right there. But there's nobody on the left side actually covering this route, right? So only people that can hurt is on the backside. I would take the tight end and put him on a corner route. I'm not even gonna lie. Just to kind of run off coverage. This is what I would see more real life anyway when it comes to this play. We wouldn't get full all out protection. All right. That looks real sloppy right there against that cover four. That backside safety is still there. So let's look at it versus cover three. Again, we're not going to get the great reads here because we don't have any users on the field. And I'm also going to move it over a little bit. If you're playing if somebody's playing three seam against you, this may be pretty good too, is a good play as well. So it might be better against three seam than maybe just regular cover three. But you can see how that hook defender is getting so much depth, not respecting the run, unrealistic play, and then we got to have the check down. Okay. So again, I didn't give you the best examples there, guys. Again, this is something that I'm gonna have to show you guys film. I'm gonna watch some of my games against users and see how it really opens up versus those teams more than it does against the computer. And the computer, we're gonna have some other stuff for the computer. Don't worry. We have some other play actions that I'll try to scheme up for you guys and try to attack them. But the computer, we're going to probably have to five-step drop them a little bit more than usual, and usually even a little bit more three-step and screen. Okay, so that was part two. I wanted to jump right into the play actions even before I went to the inside zone plays because the inside zone plays are pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. But we will come back to that in another video later on. I think you guys all know how to run inside zone. I don't think I need to spend a whole day talking about that. But we will talk about that when we come back and talk about some of the gap trap dual stuff. And then from there, we will move on. Okay. So the next video that I do for you guys, we'll talk about the three-step and five-step drop back game. Again, it's not a huge part of this offense. You would probably, if you find yourself throwing the drop back more than 30%, you're probably not running the ball enough. And so that's the thing about this offense. You got to run the ball. You got to be committed to the run. Even if you're not getting more than 2 yards, you have to show the runs that you can run so you can call these play actions against specifically user teams. Okay. All right, guys. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know. Let me know what you think how the videos are going so far. Don't forget, you can download the Shanahan version 2 offense that has goal line in it. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Guys, on Patreon, I will update this sheet and you guys will take a look. You guys can have the play call sheet and you guys will have everything that I have so far. All right. Talk to y'all later, man. Peace.